Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today 14th of August and today cloudy day in Ashford in Kent where I live in England, and hopefully will bring some more rain. It has been a very dry summer so far, and I'll talk today about one of the most beautiful and at the same time most invasive plants I have in my garden, and is the blue passion flower Passiflora cerulea, even if I have the white variety of a white variety of the blue passion flower called Constance Elliot. There are several varieties of the Passiflora cerulea, including more than one white variety. This is, however, the most common in the UK. Passion flowers, there are also known as passion vines, belong to the genus Passiflora, and is a genus of about 550 species of flowering plants, usually climbing vines, and the type genus of Passifloraceae, the family to which belong Passiflora, is indeed Passiflora, and is in the order Malpighiales. Most are tendril-bearing vines. As you can see, these are the tendrils through which the plant climbs on other plant, and you can see how these intertwines with basically every kind of vegetation support they have. Indeed, we have this tendril basically clumping a lilium seed pod. The passion flowers, however, are not only climbing vines, but some of them are shrubs or even trees, and can be woody or herbaceous. Passiflora is largely distributed in the neotropic area, that is, in the Americas. However, some species are found in Asia and in Oceania as well. Some species, like this one, as I said, tend to be very invasive, and some others instead are very important as crops. For example, the passion fruit Passiflora edulis or the sweet granadilla Passiflora ligularis. The name passion flower refers to the passion of Jesus in the Christian theology, because during the 15th and the 16th century, Spanish Christian missionaries that were in South America found in the passion flower a kind of good omen, because they identified in some of the anatomical features of the plant and of the flower some references to the passion of Christ, and this was supposed to be a good omen for the conversion of indigenous population in South America, due to this fact. Basically, they identified a variety of features referring to the Passion of Christ, most important of which are the radial filaments of the passion flower, as you can see, that they identified as a reference to the crown of thorns of Jesus Christ, the three stigmas of the passion flower that the missionaries identified as the three nails that with which Jesus Christ was hanged, was put on the cross, and the five anthers below. You can see here the male part of the flower, the anthers, and these five anthers basically were a reference to the five wounds of Jesus Christ on the cross. In addition, there are some other references as well, including, for example, the kind of pointy leaves that were a reference to the Holy Lance through which that hit Jesus, or the tendrils of the vines that were a reference to the whips with which Jesus was whipped. However, really, there's you can basically, in some flowers and plants, you can find as many references of other facts completely related as you want. Depends how strong is your imagination. For example, the passion flower in other countries like Japan, Greece and Israel is referred not as passion flower, but with a word that means a clock flower or clock plant, because of the radial symmetry of the plant that kind of divide the flower as a clock, and the sexual part in the center of the flower, so the stigma and the anthers kind of belong some parts of some technical parts of the clocks, through which obviously the clock would move, and I would say also kind of resemble like the front part of a clock, basically telling the time with the longer with the longer stigma and the smaller anthers. The Passionflower is Passiflora cerulea, or blue passionflower, is native to South America. However, has been introduced in several countries. It is a very vigorous, can reach easily 10 meters, but can grow up to 25 meters. And actually, I'll show you how big the plant became. This is a plant that I completely cut down to the ground every year, because otherwise it would invade completely my garden. And I can show you now how big the passionflower grew in just a few months, because basically after you cut down to the ground, the passionflower starts sprouting again around March, April. So you can see that covered basically half of my garden. You can see the 5 lobed leaves of the plant, and basically the original part is in the back third of my garden, and you can see from here the passionflower's vine basically expanded from here, continuing to here, climbing to everything, including near me. You can see that basically reached almost half of my garden, trying to expand itself. It completely entangled the trees nearby, including my beautiful pineapple broom, and it just wants to continue growing around, and continues basically back to my back garden, even actually reaching from the top of the pineapple broom another really vigorous plant, that is the jasmine. And I have to say, the jasmine and the passionflower probably are the two of the most vigorous plants I have, and the honeysuckle as well, but probably I would say that the passionflower in invasiveness really comes first, more than any jasmine or any honeysuckle. Is really a plant that you have to be careful where you plant it, and because easily can override any other plant in your garden. Sorry for the digression, but I really wanted to be clear about this. The species, the typical species, the blue passionflower, is greenish white tepals. However, the crown, rather than being completely white as in Constance Elliot, is trichromatic, being brown near the center of the crown, white in the middle, and blue, like violet blue, at the edge of the crown of the external part of the flower, and this gives the name to the plant as Passiflora cerulea. This one, as you can see, is different, is white. The Constance Elliot is almost a pure white, just a little bit greenish tepals, you can see, but the rest of the flower is basically pure white, except for the grey-black stigmas and the yellow anthers on the green stamens. The fruit of the passionflower is ovoid. I don't see any fruit, luckily, and I hope not to have any, because this plant also spreads easily through seeds in the garden. Even if they end up on the ground in a very shady place, being a climbing plant, they will find out for sure to the sunshine, entwining on other plants. The leaves, as you can see, of the passionflower, as already explained before, are lobed. Usually in this species, 5 lobes. They are quite ornamental, I would say. I like the shape of the of the leaves. It gives really a tropical look already for the leaves to the garden. Indeed, passion flowers are some of the most common plants in the tropics. However, the flowers obviously enhance this sense of exoticness even more. The plant, in addition obviously to have beautiful leaves, near each leaves grows tendrils that, as you can see, try to intertwine with other surrounding plants or support, and sometimes also they just climb, intertwine with other parts of the plant as well. You can see clearly here how much this passion flower decided to climb on this lily that is being completely engulfed. This obviously is relatively important for deciduous plant like lilies, because anyway when you cut them on the ground you can cut the passion flower at the same time. However, if you plant a passion flower in a part of the garden that is not very easily accessible, you might have problems in actually cutting down enough the plant, and really could grow at extreme size. The plant is widely cultivated in the gardens anyway, regardless its invasiveness, as I said, for the beautiful foliage and the amazing flowers. In addition to be of a beautiful shape, the flowers are also lightly fragrant, and this definitely add a point of interest to the plant. The plant is hardy to -10 degrees at least. And I can guarantee that because in Kent, in the UK, we had 2 years ago a very cold weather spell that made Kent reaching temperatures of -8 in actually where I live, or even more in other areas, up down to -14. And well, this plant at -8, even if completely died down, it started sprouting again the following April. We had a cold spell in March, and in April was already resprouting, and it basically reached a size even bigger than this year. I think that this year slightly was the passion flower was slightly contained in size by the fact that we didn't have much rain, so possibly this affected the development of the plant as well as of the flowers. I have a few flowers, but I see some of them are actually drying up or dying even before budding. However, this year I still have an incredible profusion of buds, as you can see, as well as of flowers. So it is a plant really that is very free flowering. I've read that the Costancelliot is not as free flowering and as the Cerulia. Anyway, you can see how many flowers still I have on the Costancelliot. So if you like exotic plants, easy to grow, definitely Passiflora Cerulia, the blue passion flower and its varieties, is one of the best plants you can get in the garden. It is best cultivated in full sun, or it can take partial shade, and it's very important that it's planted in well drained soil. As I said, needs regular pruning because it tends to be very invasive, and while the fruit is ovoid, like egg-shaped, about 5 to 8 centimeters long. It is edible, but really doesn't taste much. I never tried it because I've never been interested in it. But I found that it is quite, I've read that it's quite bland. However, the passion flower is used for making tea with its flowers, and is supposed to alleviate anxiety and relieve insomnia. This also is made with the leaves as well. Even with the leaves you can make tea. However, leaves have been found to contain cyanogenic glycerides. Therefore I couldn't recommend it really, because I would avoid the risk to get cyanide on your body really. So just admire the passion flower for the flowers and the leaves, but and if you like the fragrance as well. But really, I wouldn't recommend to try something that might be risky as the Passionflower leaves. The Passionflower, this Passionflower, the blue Passionflower Passiflora Silure, as I said, in the wild form is mostly greenish white with the crown of 3 different colors: brown in the center, brown in the central part of the crown, white in the middle, and blue on the external part of the crown. However, there are varieties that are white, like the Constance Elliot, but also other Passionflower varieties of the blue Passionflower that are white, as well as other that are purple, and others that are a mix of purple and blue. You can see here I bought recently a few new Passionflower for my garden. This is the Passionflower, sorry, I think this is the Victoria, this is the Princess Eugenie. You can see this one is particularly beautiful. I had it, but this one instead died completely during the cold spell of the Beast from the East. But I really wanted it again because it is a beautiful Passionflower. The crown is completely purple, very dark purple, and the sepals are green, while the petals are light purple. Very, very beautiful. Then I bought another variety that has been completely eaten. No, almost completely eaten by slugs. Luckily, I have a few leaves, and this one is the amethyst. The amethyst and the Victoria are mostly purple, bright purple, together with a very dark crown. That it is a very nice contrast with the purple on the back in the background. Problems, well, you can see slugs really love moist areas. I put this Passionflower in a bit of water just to revive them in this dry spell. And the nice thing about Passionflower, if you live in the UK, that at the moment in supermarkets there's a lot of Passionflowers for sale. I bought these Passionflowers for £1.80 in Morrison, while this one in Asda was I think £2 or 3 for 5. So definitely, if you love Passionflowers and you are on a budget, I definitely would recommend to buy this these small plants in a supermarket. As I said, Morrison and Asda at the moment have a nice variety of Passionflowers. There was also the Constance Elliot that I didn't buy, obviously, because I have already it in the garden, and the normal blue Passionflower, Passiflora Silure, the wild form. Remember that these plants grow really quickly, because my Constance Elliot reached a size about the same size during the first year I planted, the year after I planted, basically from a plant that was actually smaller than this, was about the size of the Victoria. So about the stem was about, I would say, 20-25 centimeters tall. About the Constance Elliot, I would finish this presentation about the Passionflowers, especially the Constance Elliot, with obviously what's the information I have about the Constance Elliot. The Constance Elliot gained the RHS Award of Garden Merit, so because obviously it's a very vigorous plant and very floriferous. This variety in particular has been selected in Exeter, originated in Exeter in the UK, at Lukombe Prince & Co nursery, and is a very old variety. Was selected indeed in 1884. So I've read that many white Passionflowers are called Constance Elliot, but really the true Constance Elliot should be only basically the cuttings, or obviously plants grown from cuttings from the original Constance Elliot of 1884. However, there are some other very nice white varieties of blue passion flower, Passiflora cerulea, that have flowers even bigger than the Constance Elliot. So I would recommend, if you are interested in white passion flowers or in white varieties of the blue passion flower, or any other variety of blue passion flowers, if you are not able to find them in supermarkets and you are not on a budget and would like to go for something a bit more particular, a bit rare, definitely you can find online a lot of information about beautiful passion flowers, both Passiflora cerulea varieties as well as other species of passion flowers that are rarer. Some of them can be grown outdoors in the UK, some others are really more plants for conservatories or greenhouses, or obviously if you have the luck to live in a tropical country, you can put them outdoors in a tropical country and they are absolutely stunning. This is, as I said, is one of my favorite plants for the beauty, but also one of my nightmares for how invasive the plant is, especially the Constance Elliot and the wild form of the blue passion flower, Passiflora cerulea, because my father had one plant of Passiflora cerulea in his countryside in Italy, and it basically covered half of the ground with its spreading, and even if my father tried to pulse it out completely every year, it always regrow from underground, the underground root system. So if you like the plant, absolutely wonderful, but remember, take care not to that this plant doesn't override doesn't overtake the whole your whole garden. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, obviously please give us a thumbs down, and please would love to see your comments, to read your comments, both positive and negative, on in the box down below, so I know if I am obviously making good videos or not very good videos, and I can read your recommendations on how to improve it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.